It's good news for standard tier subscribers to Xbox Game Pass, and November brings two of the biggest day one additions to Game Pass. Ahoy folks, I'm Craigo, here to break down the early November update for Xbox Game Pass. Before we get on to November's headliners, if you opted for that cheaper standard tier of Xbox Game Pass, then we've got great news for you because 5 new games are joining that tier of the service this month. So let's quickly take a look. Out now is probably one of the best and most charming botanical puzzlers out there, Botany Manor. When the game isn't serving up thoughtful, plant-themed conundrums to solve, players can wander around the Victorian manor at their leisure. To be honest, going back in time to a simpler life might just be a good idea right now. Play Go Mecha Ball. This pinball twin-stick shooter is genuinely one of the biggest hidden gems on Xbox Game Pass, whatever tier you subscribe to. The controls are slick, the combat is electric, and it's endlessly replayable. Do yourself a favor and download it, and if you do, let me know how you found it in the comments. This next one is so close to my heart in many ways, but mainly because it was the first game I ever reviewed. Harold Halibut joins Game Pass Standard, and it's one of the best looking games on Xbox, at least from an artistic direction. This handcrafted tale tells the story of a young man trying to find his place in life. It's silly, there are aliens, and it's just nice. Like the 3 games before it, and the one that's yet to come for standard subscribers, the Rewinder is available to play right now. This one is an interesting mix of pixel art and ink paintings, all rooted in Chinese folklore. You play as the last Rewinder, someone who can alter the past, communicate with spirits, and is a pretty dab hand at puzzle solving. And the final notch for standard tier so far this November is Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. Yep, these smiling veggies aren't to be trifled with, because they're out here robbing our life savings. I'd suggest stuffing your cash into your mattress, then hop into the twin stick madness that is Turnip Boy. The turnip games aren't half bad, and pretty fun to play, and you can do a lot worse. So that covers the standard tier of Xbox Game Pass. We're going to move on now to the new additions to Game Pass this November, which includes 2 of the biggest day one exclusives to Xbox and Game Pass this year. First up, and out now, is Metal Slug Tactics. This top-down, turn-based tactical spin on a beloved arcade series is installed on my Xbox, my PC, and my ROG Ally, but I haven't had the chance to play it yet, although reviews poured in this week and they're looking quite favorable. Metal Slug Tactics does everything you'd expect from a game with tactics in its title: tile-based movement, weapons and abilities, leveling up, and boosting stats. The source for these games, and apparently it does them well. I'm gonna bundle these next 2 together. StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 are available to play on PC Game Pass right now, which is good news, right? These games are clearly of huge cultural significance to RTS gamers out there, with rumors or just desires for StarCraft to make a big return in the coming years. Well, I suppose now Game Pass subscribers, like myself admittedly, have the chance to try out what made StarCraft so revered in the real-time strategy sphere. Where the word GOAT could be interpreted as greatest of all time, in this occasion, it actually means goat. Like a goat, those chaps that scream like people and scale impossible mountain surfaces, the GOAT. Well, Goat Simulator Remastered is indeed that outrageous 2014 game, but with a fresh lick of paint. The GOAT is back being weird, doing weird things to weird people, and generally just being weird. This game, you guessed it, is weird, but it's the GOAT, so it's gotta be good. This next one is bigger for Game Pass than a Boeing conspiracy is to TikTok. It's Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. What we have here seems to be more than just the next game in the Flight Simulator franchise. It genuinely looks like a much bigger and better game than 2020's Flight Sim in almost every way. Minus the planet, that's still the same size, and speaking of conspiracies, is still very, very round. Personally, Flight Sim has always fallen off my radar in terms of games to be excited about, but with loads of job-based activities like search and rescue on the cards, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 could well be one to watch out for this year. If we ignore Machine Games' Indiana Jones and the Great Circle for a minute, Stalker 2 is without a shadow of a doubt the biggest day one release on Xbox Game Pass still to come this year. It has honestly felt like a really long time coming at this point, largely due in part to the game's interrupted development cycle. But mark November 20th in your calendars. Book it off work if you have to, because Stalker's long-awaited sequel will finally be available to play. It looks tough to master, it feels dark and dystopian in all the right places, and it's quite frankly gorgeous. And I think I speak for a lot of us when I say we're so glad that GSC Game World has a chance to finish their game. And finally, the last confirmed November Game Pass edition is the charming Nine Souls. Described as a 2D Sekiro Metroidvania with a hand-drawn foxy protagonist at its heart. With the game currently boasting an overwhelmingly positive score on Steam right now, it might be worth checking out for yourself. You'll be slashing, dodging, and deflecting enemies in some pretty fast-paced action. Not a bad way to round off November, eh? And that's your early November Xbox Game Pass update. Be sure to check out purexbox.com and subscribe to the channel for everything out of Microsoft gaming, and be sure to let us know what you're looking forward to in the comments below. And with that, all that's left to say is bye-bye for now. Cheerio!